Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. We made it out to Arizona, just walking into the Airbnb. Got Ellen and Marlena here, and Tony and Nancy are going to join us later tonight. So, yeah, just a quick look around the Airbnb and get a good night's sleep. Probably get some dinner before we go to sleep, and then head out to the race in the morning. First up is the TT as the first leg of stage one for Valley of the Sun. But check out the Airbnb. It's in a nice little, living room area or whatever. First bedroom there. Don't know who's gonna get it. It might be Tony and Nancy. Yeah, there's Marlena and Ellen there. Kitchen, dining area. It's pretty nice actually. Just a nice little spot to kick and relax. Gonna step out. Got a nice little cornhole set up here for all the cornhole players. Nice fire pit, barbecue area. So yeah, just a nice spot to relax. Wish the rest of the team was out here and have a little, bonding and party time. Turn it into a little bit of a team camp. But we'll do that in the future, maybe out towards the Santa Barbara road race or so. Come down here and check out the bedrooms. TT bikes. This is the kind of the main suite or the master suite or whatever. Ellen and I are taking this because we got here first. Shower. Just normal kind of standard setup. I don't know where the lights are in this place. Another room. This will probably be Marlena's room here. Bathroom set up. Got a fourth bedroom here. It's good size. They're all kind of small bedrooms, but other than the master. Laundry setup. And a nice big empty garage. I think the light's broken in this thing though, so yeah. Just a nice big empty garage. We'll probably put one of the cars in here tonight, or maybe even two. But anyway, yeah. That's it. We're out here at Valley of the Sun. Get some food real quick. Come back, check over the bikes, make sure everything's okay, and then just get some rest, get some food, get some rest, and hit the time trial in the morning. All right, we're out here at Valley of the Sun. This is the TT. I'm in the Cat 4 field here, and I'm like second to last to go. Start time at 11:20. Unfortunately, when I started warming up for the day, or basically when we got to the course, my heart kind of went into A-Fib just a little bit. Nothing too special at the beginning. It was just some little blips, which is kind of normal for me. If you know anything about my heart issues and my health issues, that's kind of normal for me to have like a little off heartbeat, and then it kind of goes away. But unfortunately today it did not go away. And in fact, it magnified into like a full-blown A-Fib episode. And yeah, I made it through the entire TT, but I was only able to like ride for like 5 minutes or something. I don't know. I was already in A-Fib. Like even right now, my heart's like skipping. You won't see it on the monitor because when you go into A-Fib, whenever your heart doesn't beat, it doesn't like register fast enough or whatever. So, but anyway, like right now, I would say my heart is functioning like fairly well, other than it's skipping, but it's functioning fairly well. But you'll see in a little bit, my heart rate's just gonna drop to like 150. I can't do any power. I'm only doing like 120 watts. And I'm actually trying to, and can only do about 120 watts. I end up having to pull over for a second, and then my heart spikes to like 220 watts. I think it's gonna say on the machine it's gonna spike to like 216. but at one point I saw it was actually 220 or 221 or something like that. And yeah, I was kind of debating like, am I done or not? But since I know I've been dealing with this issue for the last 15, 20 years, I decided to just start rolling, like just roll as slow as I can or whatever until my heart kind of stabilizes. It never really stabilized. And I was just limping home, just trying to finish in order for me to be able to race the next couple days. And usually I'm to a point, like I said, if you follow my story at all, I'm to a point where I'm off meds and all that from 2020, and I only have like an episode like every once in a while. And I mean every once in a while, like once a year or something like that. Especially to this magnitude, hasn't happened to me since 2 years ago, Rosina Ranch. And other than that, I've had like really small episodes every once in a while, and they just go away, don't last long. At the time that I'm recording this video, I finally like stabilized maybe an hour or so ago, and this is now almost 7 p.m. at night. So yeah, it was a pretty bad episode and kind of lasted all day. So hopefully I'll be able to ride the road race tomorrow and the crit on Sunday. So anyway, a little bit about this course. It's a L-shaped out and back TT. It's just about 10 miles, maybe a slightly over 10 miles. As you can see by the gradient to the left, it's kind of rolling, very subtle rolling though. It's pretty flat. I think it's only 100 feet of elevation total, maybe like 120 feet or something like that. Right now we are going into a very stiff headwind though, and it's kind of like a cross headwind coming off the right side there. The road is okay. It's a little rough, but not too bad. You can get some good speed. Honestly, if my heart wasn't messed up, I should probably be going about 24 or so right now into this wind. As you can see, like from how I started off when I was able to still turn the pedals. And also, if you see now, my heart rate's down to 160, right? And it's not really that it's at 160, that's just what the monitor is registering. And I was at 170 something a little while ago, 179 or something like that. And I max out normally about 197 in a sprint. If I'm just on a hard effort, it's usually low 190s, like 192 or so. But yeah, you can see my heart rate's dropping even though I'm still trying to put in the effort. And that's just because my heart won't beat and it's only catching like every so many beats. So even though it says stable on the heart monitor, it's really not. Like, I don't know what the real numbers are right there, but I know my heart's not beating. And if your heart doesn't beat, you obviously don't have the ability to process oxygen and get anything going to the muscles. So from this point on, you'll just see my watts and everything else drop even further. Yeah, in a second I get to a point where I pull over, and I was debating like if I need to stop or not. Was it safe for me to continue or not? And as I did, I decided, well, I got to ride back or whatever anyway, so I just kept riding, and I'm able to finish, just not at any type of pace. So that's the rider behind me. I believe he's Cat 4. He's the last rider in our group, and he ends up passing me. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just like struggling here to just pedal, and then maybe 2 Cat 3 riders pass me or so. And after a while, like I start to get a little bit of heart rate back. I think maybe it gets back into the 170s, but yeah, you'll see. I get down to like 11 miles per hour. I just pull over to the side of the road. I don't stop completely. I just pull off to the side of the road, and then it kicks in that my heart's like 216 beats. And yeah, I'm just able to limp in or whatever. But about the course is L-shaped, like I said, out and back. It's actually really nice. I think it's unfortunate because I think it was a really fun TT. And even though I'm not really I don't have like a time trial profile. I do not hold like a lot of power or anything like that for prolonged periods of time. But I think this one suits me a little bit, just because it's so flat. It's pretty fast. The pavement's not the worst. It's not really good pavement, but it's not that bad, honestly. It looks dirty and a lot of ruts and stuff like that, but it wasn't really that bad, and it doesn't slow you down that much. So I thought this was a TT that kind of suited me a little bit. And um, yeah, it's just I'm bummed now. I'm kind of I'm semi depressed right now, um, just because of like how it turned out, and dealing with health issues. You think they're kind of behind you, or at least to a level to where you have them under control, and it sneaks back up on you and lets you know that if you don't stay on top of it, it just you got to pay the price for it. And I think the reason why I'm probably in this condition is this whole week I've had like very little sleep, probably didn't hydrate as well. And on this day, I was up early because Marlena and Ellen had to ride earlier today. They went off at like 9 o'clock, so we were here at, I don't know, 7 something, and I didn't go until 11, and I did not stay hydrated, did not fuel correctly. So that, in conjunction of like 3 days of low sleep and low hydration, I find myself in A-Fib. So anyway, in a little bit, we're gonna make a right hand turn. The right hand turn is still like into the wind. You'll see though, I'll be able to ride like a little bit better at that point. So, I'll pick up the speed a little bit. Still nothing special. This is only 10 miles and it's bone flat, just, like I said, but into the wind. So I should have been making the turn like, I don't know, at the 13-minute mark or something like that, maybe even 14-minute mark, 12 minutes maybe even. I don't really know what I should have been making the turn at, but I think I made the turn at like 18 minutes or something crazy, where it's like way off, and that's just from me pulling over and stopping. And in fact, like, Marlena crushes me in the TT, Ellen beats me in the TT, and Ellen, like, even though she's strong, she never beats me in anything like this. We'd have to be climbing like a really long climb for her to beat me, and I think she beat me by, I don't know, 30 seconds or something like that. And it would have been a lot worse. It's just that I was able to pick up a little speed on the back end and ride like at least over 200 watts, which is like, as you can see right now, like my heart rate's in the 150s, and that's like zone 2 for me. These watts are zone 1, and my heart rate, it would be like zone 2 for me. So yeah, it was really struggle out here. It was a tough time. But also there's some very big hitters out here as far as like Valley of the Sun event. I don't know how much everyone knows about Valley of the Sun, but there's, especially in the pro ranks, there's pros from all over the nation here. The female field is stacked also. We got our friend Holly Breck from DNA racing out here. Her pretty much, they brought a squad out. The 2024 squad is out here. There's a bunch of squads out here, male and female squads, that it's just a really stacked field. I believe it's over 700 racers. And there's two different races going on. There's an Omnium, and then there's the timed event for 3 days. So we're running the timed event, and that's basically all 3 days. You'll get like time bonuses, KOMs. The KOMs come with bonuses as well, stuff like that. So that's the event we're in. And then for people doing like the day-to-days, those are the Omnium event. And it's going to be scored like over multiple days, but they're not actually timed. I don't think. I think theirs goes by finishing points only, or finishing positions only, but not timed. So as you can see now, like going back to my health issue, look at my speed is 15 miles per hour. My heart rate's like still super low, and like I said, it's really lower than what you're seeing on the screen because it's just beating inconsistently and skipping beats and stuff like that. So, there's A-Fib hits you in like many different ways. For me, the thing that typically hurts me is my heart stops beating. It's not that I have like a elevated heart rate. It's that it stops beating for prolonged periods of time and it skips sometimes. As an example, at sleep, when I'm in a deep sleep, sometimes my heart stops for roughly 8 seconds multiple times through the night. And that's known because I've worn monitors for months when they were trying to figure out like what's going on with me. And yeah, that was discovered. And when I'm resting, sometimes I have a resting heart rate between like 25 and 35, which is very low, lower than normal. And then I can max out at like 197, which is a very high heart rate for someone of my age. So here's at the point where like I really thought I was gonna have to stop. Like, yeah, and look at my heart rate spike up to 216 beats right there. And yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if I can continue, stop, what I was going to have to do here. Obviously, I want to be safe. And I was still all there. Like, I'm not, you see, I'm looking back to see when riders are coming or whatever the case may be. I wasn't like in a position to where I was in danger, like as far as like my ability to control the bike or anything like that. But I was just feeling horrible from the A-Fib. And yeah, but I have to finish in order to be able to race on Saturday or Sunday. So I just decided to keep going. And usually after my heart does something like that, like spike to like a really high level, usually it's starting to reset itself at that point. And even though I still didn't feel good, usually it like slowly starts to try to regain some level of normal activity or whatever. So another thing too, and on top of not getting sleep and probably a little dehydrated, is we also weren't able to ride for the last few days. And that's one of the ways I keep my heart in under control, is I have to do some type of cardio like multiple days to try to keep it functioning properly. So, and for those of you asking, I do have a cardiologist, all that. I am monitored. And it's been for many years. It is safe for me to ride. I've been cleared for racing, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just something I have to live with. And I have like emergency pills that I carry with me. I just never have to take them. And I end up taking them at the end of this race. I end up taking 2 just to try to stabilize my heart, because it was going on for a long time. So actually for a couple hours total. So anyway, we made the right-hand turn, or I made the right-hand turn, and I'm still just riding, like just trying to make it home at this point. For the most part, I thought this is it. Like, this is all the power, this is all the speed that I have. But after I come back and make the second turn again, not the turnaround here, and shout out to Zach, that's Zach right there passing me. Zach was going pretty good, I thought. I can't really tell because I'm doing 20 miles per hour. So, and to put it into perspective, my wife averaged like over 21 miles per hour. I think Marlena averaged 23 maybe. And I barely averaged 21.1, for the entire race. And so anyway, we're coming up to the U-turn in just a second. Got to give kudos to, the organizers of Valley of the Sun. Everything was marked appropriately. There were no confusion. The road is open to traffic, so you obviously have to kind of watch out for cars and stuff like that. But from what I saw, everything was well organized and pretty safe. And this here too, this section is still into a headwind. So it's not like we're downwind or anything like that. It's still actually almost directly into the headwind here, but now it's coming maybe slightly off the left side a little bit. And then when we make the U-turn, it's still kind of coming off of our right, and then the rest of it on the way home, way back to the start finish, is going to be downwind. And if you can look in the on the horizon, like there's nothing shielding the wind whatsoever. This place is pretty wide open, and every flag is just standing at attention. Every flag is pretty much straight out, like in the cities and around. So it's pretty windy out there today. I believe it was approaching 20 miles per hour for wind. I think it was something like 10 to 20 miles per hour gusting. But I will be back next year because, yeah, I love this TT design, and I think it does suit me to a degree. Even though TTs in general do not suit me, I think this would be something that I could do okay at, maybe come in mid-pack, something like that. As it stands, I was second to last on today. I think I did it in 28 minutes. I was shooting for something a lot lower, like maybe a 26 or so. Um, Probably could do it even faster than that because, like I said, I pulled over to the side of the road doing 11 miles per hour. So probably had a lot more than that in me if I was, feeling better or whatever. So that's obviously the U-turn there, trying to get started, and I'm so happy that this was a short TT because I was struggling. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have ever dealt with A-Fib, but if you deal with A-Fib, like it's not just your heart rate. It's not like, oh, my heart's beating fast or irregular. It's not just that. Like your whole body tingles and feels weird, does different things, make you nauseous a little bit sometimes. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that goes along with this irregular heartbeat. It's not just, oh, my heart's a little fast or my heart's a little slow. It's not that simple. So now if you look, my heart rate's like a little more normal. Anytime you're giving an effort, especially if you're actually trying to give an effort, like my threshold heart rate is like it is around now, like 170, 172, stuff like that, even though I'm not doing a threshold effort, so obviously it's elevated, but that is a little bit more normal, and I can tell it's like stabilizing a little bit. So it does get back to a point to where I'm able to just like ride a little bit, but I was also nervous and I was afraid to push. So now again, I'm still just trying to limp home. I just want to finish the event. Obviously I want to carry a little bit of speed if I can, but I really just want to finish the event. And for 25 minutes or 26 minutes or whatever it is, I should be carrying something closer to around 240 or so, 250 for the event. And I averaged 180 watts. So that's like my zone 2. And, that's something I can do for 3-4 hours or whatever at 180. In fact, last year at Tour de Foothills, I averaged 180 watts for 7.5 hours. And for this little 25-minute or 28-minute TT, I only averaged 180 watts. So that's like part of the performance difference of when you're in A-Fib and when you're not. So yeah, I know it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but that's what dominated my event was health issues. And, it just sucks because there's nothing you can do about it. You're kind of like at the mercy of your body, which I know we all are. It's just sometimes when you get a little older and you work hard or whatever, like just some of these little things start adding up sometime, and they can become a little depressing, a little overwhelming sometimes, but it's no big deal. I'm feeling the pain from it today, but I've known for a long time that's just part of my life and something I got to deal with. And when it happens on a training ride or something, it's not, no one knows about it and it's no big deal. I can, reset my life and continue to go on and make it to the next race. But when it happens during a race, it's just, that's just demoralizing because you're paralyzed basically. You can't do anything. So anyway, the only thing I'm thinking about now is finishing, and it always feels bad when you always feel a little bad when people catch you, especially when you got like a 30-second lead on them. And if anyone catches me now, I have over a minute lead on them. So, that's always like a little bit of an issue. But so when we make the turn here, we're pretty much downhill now. I'm sorry, downwind. It's not all downhill. It kind of still rolls a little bit, but we are downwind, and I should be able to pick up a little bit of speed here. I still can't, like I said, I still can't ride hard. I may have been able to, I don't know. I still was afraid to even try to ride hard. So what I tried to say was just see if I can go above 200 or, and that's just kind of like my tempo, kind of my zone 3. And I just figured like, let's just see if I can ride, above 200 and see if I can bring it home. I was able to carry like 29 miles per hour for a while. And I was hoping to just, bring it home as fast as I can, like 27 and above. But at some point, I think I dropped down right before the finish down to like 25 or something. But other than that, I'm like decently happy with just finishing, only because, I was able to carry at least a little bit of speed. But yeah, the whole thing is I'm really just looking forward to Sunday's crit. I don't have too much confidence in the road race, but it's more important that my heart stabilizes and I'm able to ride, which I should be able to if I get a good night's sleep and rehydrate, all that kind of stuff. So, but here I am. You can see because of the wind, I'm able to pick up some decent speed. I think I only hit just under 31 miles per hour as a max, and I don't even know what the splits are because I didn't hit a lap or anything or have splits, but obviously I'm like gonna go way faster on the second leg because, like I said, it took me almost 18 minutes or something, I think, to make the turnaround. So it's like, I don't know, 10, 11 minutes coming back. Because I think my time was, I want to say my time was 28:20 or something like that. And so I think my wife ended up doing like 27:50. And Marlena, you did 26 something? 25:48, something like that. So, and Marlena's really strong at time trials. She would have probably fared decently in the Cat 4 field, like mid-pack or something, I believe. But I think the fastest in our field was maybe 22 something in the Cat 4, which is a really good time. I think the fastest time on the day was maybe 21 from the pro men's field, if I'm not mistaken, or the open pro field. I don't know if they have them in here today or if it's just an open event. Also, if you see here, I'm running the 4eyes left side crank power meter, and I don't like it. This is like only the 8th time I've ridden this bike or something, and this is maybe the 3rd or 4th time that I've ridden the bike that the power is nowhere near accurate. And I calibrated right before the race. So it's a new battery and calibrated. There's no reason for the power to show that I'm doing 20 watts, and at no time was I ever coasting other than when I was going to pull over. There's no time that I'm like coasting. So, and this is the only rider I catch right here in front of me, which obviously I'm not going to catch too many people pedaling around an A-Fib, but I think this rider just was struggling. I don't know if he went out too hard or not. And maybe just blew up, or just not his thing. To time trialing might just not be his thing or whatever. But yeah, so now I'm just, again, like I said, I'm just trying to bring it home, trying to stay above 27 miles per hour, and and not do too many watts. I think I'm still doing mid 200s here, maybe like 220 or something, even though it's not showing. I'm not really sure, but the power meter, it might just be able to put a 200 in front of it. I don't know why it goes out like this, but obviously I'm not doing, 20 watts. So I don't know if it's really just add 200 to it, because I'm keeping like a steady cadence and just trying to keep the same tempo. So I don't really know. Like, I don't know why 4eyes does that or whatever. I have Stages power meters. They seem to be more accurate. I also have a Quark power meter. It seems to be more accurate. I have a dual-sided Stages on one of my bikes as well, and that seems to be pretty accurate too. The only issue I have with that one is when the battery starts getting low, and I don't mean like really low, but if it gets low at all, even if one side gets low, then sometimes you'll have like a power spike or something weird happens when you hit a bump or whatever. And as you can see, my heart rate's been like 173 pretty much, this close to the 170s like the whole time, mid 170s, and that's kind of normal right there. So obviously my heart's starting to stabilize a little bit, but like I said, I was in like a semi-state of A-Fib for basically the rest of the day, up until now when I'm making this video, and I'm still not 100% right now. It just like now it just feels like heart fatigue right now. But yeah, at least I'm able to ride and get a little momentum here and just try to hold it to the line. So I'm kind of proud that I was able to bounce back a little bit. It's just normally it only lasts for like a couple minutes, and I mean literally like a couple minutes, like less than 5 minutes, and I'm able to ride again. And yeah, it went on for hours today. So we should be coming up on the finish pretty soon. It's not exactly an even finish. You go out a little bit further on the front side, maybe, I don't know, 1 mile or half a mile, something like that, and the finish is on the right side here. Like I said before, though, I really like this event. Really big turnout. They kept everything pretty sharp and moving along. All the volunteers and everything were good, and everything's pretty straightforward. It's like they didn't really miss a beat at all, and that's what you should expect from like a national level race like this, or maybe even world famous. This is my first time here, so I don't know how many people travel from outside of the country to get here, but I know there's some really big teams and heavy hitters here for the weekend. So it's just, still a little fun to be a part of this. And also I'd like to shout out Camilla. Also, Camilla is with LABA. She's riding out here on Team Abundance on the scholarship. And she's also, and I'm sorry, I don't know if I said her last name right. It's Camilla Arenas. She might be listed as Laura Arenas on here. But yeah, she's also one of the athletes that I coach. So she's doing a great job. And she's racing the Cat 3 women. And yeah, we're looking for her to have a pretty high finish this weekend. So I think she got 12th on the TT today, and I'm looking for her to make some noise in the road race tomorrow. So just a little shout out, and looking forward for her to do some good things this weekend. It's kind of funny too. Dalton from Walt Does Bikes, they scouted the course too, and the course looks a little beat up, but they weren't able to ride it. They just drove it in the car, and it turned out that it was better than we expected from the beginning. So shout out to Dalton as well, and hopefully we'll see everybody tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully I can finish the weekend out.